Hello, everyone. What's going on, y'all? How are you guys doing on this magnificent Juneteenth? Guys, I am here today to give you a video on what type of witch or conjurer are you. I'm going to give you a list of different types of conjurers or witches, and you pick and choose what you resonate with, guys. You're gonna may need a pen or save this video because I'm gonna go dive deep and tell you what kind of witch or conjurer it is. And going forward, I will be calling it conjurer because I'm under the class of hoodoo, so we call it conjuring. Okay, so it will relate once I get into it, but I just want to say we about to talk about it. All right, guys, my name is Lady Vasori. I am the owner and operator of a spiritual online Botanica called Visions by Vasori. I am a master in healing, in love, in prosperity. And look, I even do a little bit of left-handed work. Go check out my client works in my shop. But listen, let's talk about today, baby blossoms, what type of conjurer that you are. I will be reading from my notes, guys, because I want to give you detailed information. And as always, before I get started, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, most importantly, and support my channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Any negative comments, please refrain, or if you have something that is what my grandma always stated as not nice to say, then please keep scrolling. Save yourself some time. All right, so let's get into it. Y'all. Let me pull my camera up. So I myself would call my type of witchery or conjuring who I am. I would say I most definitely am a moon witch. I resonate with candle magic, so I would say I'm a candle witch or a fire witch. Most definitely a herbal witch, a kitchen witch. A healing witch, a hearth and home witch or conjurer, so far that's all I got, y'all. So you know what I'm saying, let's get into it and we'll go through it together, because you may be under a class or category of many different types of conjuring. Okay, so there are so many different types of conjurers out there that it can really be confusing to figure out what type of witchcraft you feel drawn to. Look, I get questions daily about how to figure out what type of conjurer you are. So I put together a list, and we're going to go over all the different types of conjuring and the sorts of spells that this particular conjurer usually casts. Okay, so get your pen and papers ready. The thing is, too, the question is, can you be more than one type of witch at a time? And the answer is yes, totally yes. Most people don't fit neatly into a category, and it's rare to encounter a conjurer that only practices one type of witchcraft. It's very rare. I am also an eclectic witch, as well as a solitary witch. All right, those are some more. I personally incorporate elements as well of many types of conjurers and witchcraft, which is all it is an eclectic witch. Although I find that some types work better for me than others. Okay, so you pick and choose what you resonate with. If it doesn't work for you, no need to do it, because everything doesn't work for everybody. Like a particular outfit for me might look good for her over there, or hairstyle, but it's not my judge and it wouldn't look good on me, right? Same aspect of witchcraft or conjuring. If you won't fit into any of these categories, then that's what the point of learning about the different kinds of magical powers that you resonate with. So this is what we're talking about. For starters, you can read about the different types of witchcraft, right? You can figure out what kind of magic calls to you or resonates with you, and it can give you a specific area to begin practicing magic. Now, this knowledge can also help you to define what elements you wish to use in the craft when you start designing your own spells, okay? You might love to use oils. Thank you, Nita B. You might love to use herbs. You might love to use candles. You might love to use incense. It's elements, the earth, air, fire, water elements, the moon, the sun. Is so many different types, right? Most conjurers nowadays identify as eclectic. That means that they practice, like I said, at least a few different kinds of magic. So you will be under the eclectic umbrella. Now, you probably won't be drawn to every kind of witchcraft or every kind of conjuring. So hopefully this video will help you narrow down how you want to practice your works or your magic. Now, it is likely that at least a few different types of witchcraft will call to you. However, I want you to always remember that your power will be the strongest when you're using the elements that you're mostly drawn to. I'm really drawn to fire, okay? Totally. Candles, fire witch. Totally drawn to that. And I'm drawn to water, seas and oceans and waterfalls and ponds and lakes. So those are my two elements that I'm absolutely drawn to, which is why it's helpful to do a bit of research before you dive right into the works. Just, of course, use me as a tool, but do your own research, okay? That's pertinent in works. All right, so there are so many types of conjurers that I couldn't even possibly include all of them in this one particular video. I'm very familiar with generally the most common types, and those are the ones we're going to talk about today. I will do my best to update you guys as I learn about new ones that are slightly more obscure kinds of magic and labels and witcheries. If you come across specific sorts of conjuring that aren't included, feel free, if you would like, to shoot me and or place a comment, and I'll add a section about it. I'll research it and we will talk about it, okay? I don't mind doing that. I love to do that, actually. Y'all know I love to teach and give guidance. This is my passion. All right, let's jump into the first one. But again, keep in mind, these distinctions aren't absolute. There's clearly some overlap between these different witches or conjurers. That's because the types of witchcraft have never been formally categorized. So all of these different types developed separately in completely different areas of the world. All right? It is all about being eclectic to it. Just because I'm hoodoo, which is my main works, doesn't mean that I am not a green witch. It doesn't mean that I'm not attuned to the moon. You understand what I'm saying? So you incorporate it. That's what it's all about. Y'all, it is raining and I love the rain. Baby blossoms. I love the rain, honey. True Libra to my core. Follow your intuition here, okay? Follow your intuition while we talk about it. The first one is a green witch. Green witch, okay? Now, the green witch is very, very, very similar. What's going on? Very, very similar to the cottage witch and the kitchen witch. They're very similar. But the green witch or conjurer focuses mainly on the earth, So green witches are also called garden witches or forest witches as well. And they are very connected to the earth and draw their magic from the natural world and specifically from earthly elements. Now, if you're a green witch, you probably incorporate many earthly elements such as herbs, plants, roots, so on and so forth into your practice. And you enjoy studying these areas. If you've ever feeling drained, I want you to step into your nature call and absorb the power from the earth. Take your shoes off, take your socks off, and walk. Y'all hear the rain? Magnificent, y'all. I love the rain. But take your shoes off, take your socks off, and put your bare feet on the ground and walk. All right? Walk in it. Absorb the power from the earth. You may perform some of your most powerful spells surrounded by nature. Also, some green witches connect with earth spirits as well, or the fae. I connect with the fae. I don't do the whimsical, all of that I be seeing some fae witches do. But of course, I connect to it. All right? They enjoy incorporating this spirit into their practice. Earth spirits, brownies, sprites, fairies, those type of things, okay? Now, a common symbol associated with green witchery is a pentagram. And the pentagram is surrounded by 5 leaves rather than 5 points, representing the elements more closely related to nature's balance. Now, every element in green witchcraft has a reciprocal relationship. For example, air feeds fire, okay? It gives it fuel, but also takes away ash and smoke. Now, water quenches fire, but also washes away the ember and lowering its temperature. Makes sense? So, I think that green witchcraft is one of the most common types of witchcrafts because it's so accessible. Many of us feel strong connections to our plants, and you can be a green witch with lots of flora and fauna, even if you live in an apartment. That, let me tell you, baby, if y'all know my nature repair videos and my garden with Lady V videos, you know that I am a green witch. I have never before my walk been able to keep a plant alive until I started honing my craft and attuning to my plants and knowing when their feeding schedules are, knowing what time to give them water and love. I talk to my plants. So you will know, if you're a green witch, you will make everything grow. There's also a strong focus on practical magic with green witchcraft, making it really useful in everyday life. Practical magic is one that I can give you is you take a plant, any type of small plant or fern or whatever you have, and you bury a penny minted in your year of birth inside of the plant. And that is a prosperity spell, and it's very easy to do, and it is all about the practical magic, and that is what you can do, and it is a practical working, okay? So green witchcraft resonates with that. Next, we're going to talk about a hedge witch. A hedge witch. Now, a hedge witch almost always practices alone, or is at least not a part of a group or a coven in a regular routine. Now, when you see hedge witchery as the traditional medicine men, medicine women of past centuries, whether they were a part of a tribe or if they lived in a small cottage in the European countryside, you would know these types of witches. Now, the hallmark of the hedge witch is that they perform small, day-to-day domestic actions that make life easier for both of them, for them and others. They often focus quite a bit of the hearth and home and tend to partner with a lot of animals. All right. The hedge witch will focus mainly on interactions with nature. So that means another umbrella for me. I'm a hedge witch as well because I attune to nature very, very well. Animals or birds come to me. Squirrels come to me. So I would say I'm a hedge witch. So back to it, the word hedge means the boundary between this world and the spirit realm. Hedge witchery is known for flying into the spiritual world when they practice magic. So hedge witches can get on their broom and fly into the spiritual world when they practice magic. The veil is extremely thin for hedge witches. And it is important to them that the other side is incorporated in their practice alongside nature and earth magic. Now, in centuries past, the various spells of hedge witches included healing plants, determining what action is needed to take for certain ailments, all about divination, scrying. They can forecast weather and cursing your neighbor's crops, even at harvest time. So they all about it, okay? Hedge witches didn't worship pagan gods as part of their magical beliefs, though they might have had their own deities, but still practiced their craft within an animalistic worldview. Everything had a spirit and or a soul. Many hedge witches adopt similar magical practices today. All right, next one, kitchen witch. Kitchen witch. Let's dive in. The kitchen witch is also known as the hearth witch. Okay, I'm totally a kitchen witch, as I stated before. Mainly practices magic in the, you know what, the kitchen. This witch uses herbs, cooking, potions, and any other type of recipe to concoct a spell. Now, if you practice kitchen or hearth witchcraft, you probably love smells like baking and cooking, cookies, gardening, or learning about herbs and spices. Almost definitely this. Your power stems from actual process of cooking or baking and the emotions you put into it. When these witches grow their own herbs, a spell will be extra strong. These witches are often drawn towards plants and enjoy the processes of creating a dish from beginning to the end. They also tend to have healing energy when family or friends are sick and can quite literally heal them through their food, through making them teas, potions, etc. You can work as a solitary witch or as part of a group as well if you are a kitchen witch, though any coven related to the hearth usually isn't very large. All right, if you wanted to join a coven, it's a very small thing and you most likely will do that, or you can be solitary with this type of witch. Next, we're going to talk about a cottage witch. Now, the cottage witch is super trendy due to the cottage core aesthetic. But the cottage witch also has a really prominent place in history. These were the underground witches who practiced magic quietly in their homes, while the rest of the world practiced religion. Now, the cottage witch is also known as the home witch, and despite the well-known aesthetic, you can be a cottage witch in any kind of home, not just in English countryside cottage home, in any kind of home. The foundation of the cottage witch is that magic is practiced in the home and about the home, okay? There can be some overlap with the kitchen earth witch and the green witch. Sorry, guys. But there can be some overlap with the kitchen witch and the green witch, but the cottage witch primarily feels that their home must be sacred to them. If you're a cottage witch, you probably take steps to create that home that feels very cozy and spiritual. Both the design and the energy of the home are very important to you. You may include different elements in your home, such as a fountain for water or plants for earth. You are the type of person that you have routine clearings with sage and or cleansing agents or cleansing with magical waters. This will be important to keep your space sacred, and your most powerful magic will be performed in a room that feels energetically balanced. So that is all about a cottage witch. Often though, a little bit more often, cottage witches or home witches have some Taurus placements in the natal chart that speak to their affinity for the home. So you may be a Taurus if you love the cottage witchery aspect, okay? Next, we're going to jump to a fairy witch. A fairy witch, y'all, also known as a fae witch. The fairy witch connects with fairies at the most basic level. Fairy witches love nature spirits, woodland creatures, trees, and the fae, and they invite all of these elements into their practice. They may dress very whimsical, very colorful, and if you're a fairy witch, you probably are pretty eclectic, meaning you combine many different types of practices to create your own. For example, many fairy witches are also hedge witches, green witches. The main distinguisher is that a fairy witch works specifically with the fae doing at least some of their spells. Now, as a fairy witch, you might practice alone as a solitary witch. You probably love the magic of fairies, and you also may have, as a child as well, when you were growing up, you love fairies. You feel right at home in the woods. You are extremely powerful when you look for areas where mushrooms have sprouted in a circle. Or places that just feel real magical to you. Lightning bugs, you're in the room, in the woods, the moonlight. You probably most likely is a fairy witch. Fairies love nature, so you may want to incorporate woodland elements into your craft if you are attuned to a fairy witch. Next, we're going to talk about a fire witch. A fire witch essentially draws power from fire. If you are a fire witch, you may love the element, or you may have more success with fire spells, such as candle spells, such as potions over an open flame, such as if you have a cauldron and you burn your work and your herbs. I'm totally a fire witch, totally. As a fire witch, you may be hot and fiery in nature, even if others don't necessarily see this. I said the cat. You probably like quick results, which is exactly what a fire spell will bring you. Focus on candle spells, fire deities, red and orange crystals, hot and spicy herbs to gain more power. You will want to focus on those things. I do recommend practicing drawing your power from the flame of a candle when casting the spell instead of from earth or another source, okay? An experienced fire witch almost always carries a lighter or a match or on him or her in case they need to cast a spell in a pinch. Now, I don't necessarily do that because most of the time I do my work in my spirit room, okay? And all of my things, matches, and I usually don't use a lighter because matches are a little bit more powerful in hoodoo because it's made from wood, okay? So I usually use matches in work, but I'm totally a fire witch. The next one is a divination witch. A divination witch is all about what? Tarot, astrology, scrying, pendulums, meditation. You're all about that. You can literally do all of those things. Oracle as well. Most divination witches practice some type of witchcraft as well, but they enjoy incorporating divination practices into their craft. For example, a divination witch may use tarot in spells, scribe before performing a spell, or draw power from swinging the pendulum. If you're a divination witch, you probably feel the need to know things or check in with your spirit guides before performing a spell. In hoodoo, you're supposed to pull tarot before or oracle before doing the work anyway, okay? But that's just a hoodoo perspective. You might draw power from feeling as though the veil is low and you need a connection to the other side in order to perform a strong spell. Next, we have a sun witch or a solar witch. And I hope you guys are enjoying these. I hope you are writing them down, or at least what you resonate with while I'm speaking to you, so you'll know what to go and research. Y'all need to be writing this down, okay? Now, a sun witch or a solar witch will derive from the sun and derive all their power from the sun. I'm not that girl. I'm not the sun type of girl. I'm not a solar witch at all. If you identify as a sun witch, although you may identify with other types of witches as well, then you'll cast extra powerful spells during the daytime or in the direct sunlight. All right. The only time I want to be in the sun is going outside, taking a little walk, taking in the vitamin D, and coming my ass back in the house. That's all I got. So, yeah, if you resonate with this, go ahead, dog. Go ahead. Now, you would benefit from charging your tools as well in the sunlight instead of the moon, and performing magic at sunrise or sunset when the power of the sun is transformative. Now, spells that deal with new beginnings would be better to cast at sunrise, while banishing spells will have more power during sunset. And that should be self-explanatory for why that is, okay? You might enjoy sunbathing because of the power you gain from the sun. You also want to make sure that you get a few minutes of sun in every day, even if it's just through a window in the winter. The energetic energy is the same for a sun witch or a solar witch. Now, sun witches often dress in warm colors. The colors of the sun fuel the energy. If you're feeling down, brighten up your life in some way, either by getting some actual sun or bringing in yellows and orange color elements, or meditating and drawing power from the sun energetically is great as well. This next one, I am totally this, and it's all about a storm witch. Storm witch. Y'all, I had to go get me some water. This here is my hair falling down. This here is Smart Water Strawberry Blackberry. Really good. Get your water in, guys. All right. So let's jump into Storm Witch. If you're a Storm Witch, you draw energy from crazy weather. I'm totally a Storm Witch. Again, you might have a preference for a specific type of storm, or you enjoy chaotic weather energy in general, but you will definitely feel more powerful and exciting when the weather is tumultuous. Now, a storm witch generally casts spells based on the weather rather than based on the moon cycles or moon phases, and needs a whole lot of chaotic energy to pour into a spell. This is a perfect strong type of witchcraft, okay? As a storm witch, it's a good idea, very good idea, to charge your tools in a storm and or to collect storm water, collect snow, etc. for use in your spells. It is also helpful to use your emotions as well as the elements of a storm to fuel your magic. Now, as many witches say, that a storm is the earth's way of expressing itself. Okay? Last one I'm giving you on this particular video, and you guys better follow me for the other couple of ones I'm going to give you. I'm going to make about a 4 or 5 part series on types of witches in depth. So y'all better subscribe because I'm going to be uploading those videos in the next couple of days. Next one we're going to talk about is a swamp witch. A swamp witch, you say. If you've ever seen American Horror Stories, The Coven, which is one of my favorite shows in life. The Coven. Okay. Who else loves American Horror Story, The Coven? Put it in the comments, please, because I want to know who else is feeling me on this, or which American Horror Story that you attuned to. Let me know. The old school ones, because these new ones, I don't even watch it no more. But back in the day, The Coven was it. All right? So you'll know exactly what I mean when I say a swamp witch if you love The Coven. Y'all hear the thunder? Please believe it. Swamp witches generally feel out of place in society. They traditionally lived in the swamps, although you can be a swamp witch without literally living in the middle of Louisiana bayou. You can, that is not what it is, okay? Because they didn't fit in with city folk and needed to practice magic in solace. That was the reason why. If you're a swamp witch, you might not only feel like an outcast, but also you may feel a personal disdain for social norms. You might not get the idea of society or care about culture, okay? Even though it's pretty specific, the swamp witch is one of my favorite types of witches because she is so unique and she is so natural. She is so healing. She lives in the elements and doesn't give a fuck if she gets mud in her hair, mud on her feet. She don't care. The swamp witch uses the healing elements of nature around them, especially mud. Mud is healing, and develops their own strong magic through the intense emotions that they feel surrounding society and expectations. Y'all, which one are you? If you're not, or if you're open to the walk and you're my baby blossom and you're out of the closet, put in the comments what type of category or umbrella you fit under. Y'all know mine. And it's probably much more. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, support your girl channel. It's greatly appreciated. Again, I will be loading a couple of more videos on specific types of witches or conjurers, adding a lot of stuff behind it so you can attune to and find out what type of umbrella you are up under so you can study on your own. Okay? All right. Guys, if you need anything from the shop, visionsbybasoria.com. You already know the drill. Please subscribe to my channel so I can get my followers up and watch my other videos and watch the whole entire thing so we can get my minutes up, all right? Or whatever you call that shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. Y'all, that is it. That is all. I love y'all. Blowing blessings of abundance to each and every one of y'all who follow me and rocks with me because you are a Vasorian rider. Peace.